Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today, I have a guest, but we don't have a formal layout or program for the show because we're just going to have a conversation. We have one of the most interesting people I've met lately, Brooks Conkle. Hey, I'm Karen. I'm a former CPA, entrepreneur, business consultant with big ideas, and I'm the mom.
I'm Cadie. I'm a payroll specialist, business owner, and detail-oriented person that makes things happen, and I'm the daughter. Welcome to Cheers to Business.
Brooks Conkle.
Hey there.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Katie hated she couldn't be here today.
I'm bummed out.
I know.
Bummed out. Where's Katie? I know. Y'all are a pair.
She's working.
Well, I love being with you. I get extra one-on-one time with you.
That's right. So today, I always have to have a format. What's the 3 takeaways? Those kind of things. And I just want to have a conversation because you came up on the scene and all of a sudden this guy with some help is putting on this thing called BizCon. And then you asked me to be on a panel. And then I see biz conversations, them mobile rundowns all over the place. Mm-hmm. I want to know who you are and what are you doing and how can people find out more?
Oh, so how long do we have? When you're like, who are you?
You just talk.
Oh, man.
Man. I want it from the heart.
Sure. So, Brooks Conkle, I'm from here. I'm actually from town. I went to...
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Murphy High School, Auburn University. I disappeared. I lived in New Zealand for a year and a half. I lived in a van, learned how to make wine, went bungee jumping, did crazy stuff.
We like wine here.
I hear you. That's what I hear. That is what I hear. So, I did that. That was kind of, adventurous year and a half. And then I moved back here. And then I've been back here ever since. Laid down roots, married, wife, son. And
your wife is so nice and she's beautiful. She is.
I agree.
Yes.
Of course, I'm partial, but I do agree with you 100%. She's a sweetheart. So speaking of who I am, I'm a guy with a trillion ideas and moving a million miles a second. And she keeps me, I wouldn't say like focused necessarily.
Grounded?
Grounded is a good word. She lets me have all the ideas.
I know that because I need people that can keep me grounded.
Yeah. It's important to have those people. Like, so she thrives on kind of focusing on one thing that we're doing at a time. I thrive on doing multiple things at any given time.
That is me and Katie. I swear that's me and Katie.
It brings me life to actually have multiple projects going on. And it can be within one thing, I guess. Like within, mine aren't. I mean, I'm doing all kinds of stuff, but it could be within one, like business, for example. But I would have to have my hand in a lot of different pieces and be thinking on a lot of different routes and ways. If I'm not doing that, I'm not at a place that brings me happiness.
I totally get that. I mean, I understand it so well. Like, I crochet. It sounds like an old grandma thing to do, but I just love what I can create. Mm-hmm. And one day my husband walked in. He went, "Good God, Karen, how many different crochet projects do you have going on?" And I looked on the table and I counted them. There were 8 different ones. And I had this aha thing. And I went, oh my God, that's my life on a table. It's just yarn. But that makes me happy.
Yeah, I love it. Can you make cool little hats or socks or something?
I did. Yes, I have to show you. Yeah.
I'll have to buy some from you or something. I don't know. Make something cool for me or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, that makes sense. It's just like, yeah, you're just thriving from that, from the it sounds like from the creation. Like, so, and I know we were having a conversation earlier, and I totally agree that a common thread among many of us, I guess, that get strengths from doing multiple projects is like that fact of creation. Not to be, cliche and say that we're creating, but like my wife asked me a few days ago, hey, up to now professionally, what's been the thing that you've enjoyed the most? What's been the best? I couldn't give her a single answer.
That's a great question.
I thought it was a really good question. It was over dinner. We're on vacation, and I thought about it for a few minutes before. I didn't just answer right away. I had to think about it because I didn't have a light bulb answer right away. But when I thought about it, the answer I did give her was a common thread of an answer. And I said, anytime that I'm creating something, those have been the times. And that's in multiple businesses, whether it's creating an event-based business like Gulf Coast BizCon or the Mobile Rundown, a local media company, or doing real estate or whatever. If I'm creating within it, and a lot of time for me, it has to do with like content. Like I'm starting to enjoy more and more like creating video type content. It's just fun. And I find that I kind of actually have a a little bit of a knack for, like the ideas of what I see a video could be. And I feel like you'll probably see more of that from me, because it honestly makes me happy, and I feel like I have some creative juices there. Now, I don't have all the skill sets like in videography and stuff, but like.
So will this be content about you, about what you're doing, or others?
So one thing upcoming, so the Mobile Rundown does some video, like we do some interviews. Like I just interviewed actually a young guy, an 11-year-old. That was kind of interesting. So he was a young guy. He's going to be in Biz Kids, which is business fair for kids we have coming up.
I love that idea. I cannot wait.
So yeah, so we love that idea. We went to one last year across the bay, and got super excited. We're friends with them now. They're actually producing theirs on the same day as us this fall, which is really cool. And we did a combined video and talked about theirs and talked about ours. And so anyway, so I interviewed this young guy in the studio. He was like, "Oh, I want to get on YouTube, and I want to become a YouTube kind of star." And then I have so I'm talking with a couple of local that are actually full. There's two that I know of that I have. One I have a personal relationship with. The other one I've just kind of reached out to, but they're both actually full-time YouTubers, and they're local. And I want to do and so I'm kind of saying this, I hope that it works out, but both of them had said, yes, I'm game. I want to do a collaboration video with them here locally, because what they do is not like local based. What they do is to their audiences, which is all around the world. But I want to do a video that kind of combines both of what they do and kind of have it locally based, and kind of put me in the mix of the Mobile Rundown as a media company and talk to them and kind of ask questions and be like a trio video. So I actually have storyboarded it already. So I have like the vision for what I want it to look like, and I hope that it happens. I hope that it comes to fruition, because I'll be really excited about it. It'll be one of the coolest things I've ever done.
I didn't know we had any YouTubers. I mean, big YouTubers.
So one was actually, and you may not have gotten to hear him because you were on a panel at BizCon. One was actually on a panel at Gulf Coast BizCon. So he's full-time now. He just actually crossed 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. He is
Holy cow, I got excited because we had 38.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah, people were like, "Yeah, Brooks, don't you have a lot?" And I'm like, no. I just point at that guy. I'm like, just go talk to him. And he's a cool dude, down to earth guy, like really nice. And he's a gamer, but he lives here. He's a single guy, just bought a house. And this other person is a young lady who kind of like fishes a lot and does some health stuff, like eating and food and stuff. And I don't know her personally, but I've reached out and we've messaged a number of times. And I said, "Hey, I have this idea. What do you think?" She's like, "Love it." So I hope it happens.
All right. I want to talk a minute about your shirt. Can I read your shirt?
Sure.
Don't just think outside the box, destroy the box. I hate the box. I love that shirt. Where'd it come from?
I kind of wanted a personal tagline, something that I could live by, and I'm not trying to be super, let me come up with a catchy phrase or tagline or whatever. But, obviously we say like, hey, you have to think outside the box. And so it just dawned on me, we say that so much, hey, think outside the box. I'm like, man, you know what? Like, yeah, we should live outside let's live outside of it. So I'm like, hey, don't just think out of it. Just let's destroy it. Just completely destroy the box.
In my past life,
mm-hmm.
I was I was a professional. I wasn't stereotypical, but, I always said that, find people who have more than one door into their house. All right. So if you're boxed in, a house is a box.
Mm-hmm.
So my house never had just one door, one way in, one way out. That's the only way you could do it. I want a house with windows and a back door and a side door and a chimney if I need it.
Mm-hmm.
But why limit yourself so much? They say, I can't, so I can't. People need to stay in their comfort zones. I just like being a little uncomfortable. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, that's a tough phrase. Like, so I think people see entrepreneurs and people that are doing things and think like, I don't know, they have the ultimate positivity and nothing goes wrong or something. Tough things happen all the time any project I'm working on. I could probably name you at least a handful of times where I've been like, wow, that was a really bad thing that happened. That was horrific. But I think learning that that's a part of it, it's inevitable, right?
Cadie and I call them life lessons.
Yeah, well said.
Well, I just got bit in the ass, but okay,
Yeah.
What can we learn from this life lesson?
Well said. And it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Like it hurts.
It hurts. It
hurts.
bleeds, and then sometimes it gets pus in it. It's really nasty.
Yeah, I'm with you. But it's like you don't learn. I don't know. There's just no other way to learn
You
except falling on
can't
your
give
face.
up. You just cannot give up. You got to keep taking it. And if it bites you in the ass one more time, go ahead and just take it, but stand up.
Yeah.
I'm not a big feminist or sexist or whatever you want to call it, but, man up. That's a saying. But, if you want to woman it up, go ahead.
Yeah. Woman it up.
Woman it up.
Yeah. Do whatever you got to do. Yeah.
Sounds like it needs a poll involved. I don't want to do
Do what you got to do, man. Yeah.
What is it? Do what you have to do so you can get to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
All right, so destroying the box. When the brand, your tagline, marketing, are you the brand or the things you're doing? Are they the brand?
So it's an interesting question. I've owned my website for a long time, brooksconkle.com. So probably you're making me go back probably 7 years ago. I actually started a blog called thesoutherninvestor.com. So I got started in real estate investing. I renovated probably 10 or 12 houses with a local investor, good friend of mine. We had a partnership, did some deals. I started a blog with that. And then, I purchased my own, obviously, domain name. So I own brooksconkle.com, started writing some articles there. It's morphed into a personal brand. I would not say that my goal is to be a personal brand. I would say my intention is to shine a spotlight on things that I'm doing or on other people or activities. But I think by default, you become a personal brand a little bit, So I'm not touting destroy the box everywhere I go, but I am wearing a t-shirt today, right? So,
it's a message.
I like the t-shirt. Yeah, it is a message. So
I like the t-shirt too.
Thank you. Yeah, so I just try to live, I try to live this message in all the projects that I'm doing, and then I think it does highlight my personal brand.
I do need that on my tombstone.
Yeah.
I destroyed the box.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, I got a question for you. What'd your parents think you were going to be when you grew up?
I don't think they had a clue. I remember when I was in high school, the girl I was dating, her dad recommended the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I read that, and I read like 3 of his other books in high school, and I remember I remember figuring it out. I was like 18 years old. I was like, this is how I think. Like, I kind of think like this. This is different. I think my parents knew that I was going to probably do all kinds of stuff or work for myself or whatever. So when I graduated college, I got offered a position.
What was your major? I'm sorry.
So no, I majored in finance at Auburn. Yeah, and I'm completely glad that that's what I studied. I don't regret it. As a freshman, I started as engineering. I went to school for like 3 days, and I switched. Like literally 3. I didn't go to one engineering class. I was like, I'm done.
I started off in chemical engineering.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah. And none of those letters are in those words that are in that table. And I went, this is stupid. I can't do this. So I went to party and shot pool.
I need to do something else. This is not working out. Yeah, I knew really quick. I didn't even have an engineering class. I was like, what was I thinking? Like, this is not what I need to do. So I switched to business school, finance, and I'm extremely glad I did. I think it's a really good foundation for all kinds of stuff.
That's what Cadie's degree is in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
She started out going to be a high school algebra teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She went, what was I thinking? And so she ended up in finance.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Now I know that. Well, we have that in common.
I think it's the part of the brains we think with or something. The math or something.
Maybe. I was going somewhere.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You asked me something, then you asked me where I went to school.
What did your parents think you were going to be when you grew up?
Yeah. You asked me that. So when I graduated from Auburn, I got offered a job. So a financial sales type position, and I just remember thinking, I told my parents this. I was like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, yeah, I can take this job. Okay, I just graduated school. It seems like a good job and everything. It just didn't feel right. My mother, I'm very grateful she did this. Of all people, she's like, you said you wanted to travel. Like, go travel. Either go, you said you want to go to New Zealand or do a U.S. road trip. Go do it. And I was like, that's a great idea. Yes, I'm going to do that. And so that's what I did. I took off to New Zealand, and that's where that 1.5 year kind of like life adventure sparked for me.
Man, how lucky that you could do something like that. Not everybody can do that.
It was awesome. People were like, oh, so how'd you do that? Travel for? I'm like, no, I didn't travel for 1.5 years. So I traveled for and the way I did it was really crazy. So I did this thing called woofing, willing workers on organic farms. I was literally like staying at people's houses and doing work for them. Didn't have to pay anything. I had 3 jobs after I graduated school and before I took off on the flight. So I was working an insane amount. So putting money in the bank. I went. after it was like 6 months, I think. It was really funny. I remember calling my parents. I was in Queenstown, New Zealand. It's in the South Island of New Zealand, the venture capital of the world. It's a really cool place. Go. If anyone ever gets a chance, do it. And I remember calling my parents and I was like, hey, I'm about out of money and I'm either flying home in the next 2 weeks or I'm gonna have a job. And I ended up getting a marketing job from this company called Queenstown.com. So they own the domain Queenstown.com. And so I did marketing for them. I actually got cool experience. And I lived there for close to a year in Queenstown.
I would think that marketing experience then is helping you out a lot now.
For sure. I mean, it just built upon, the position, he wasn't even, he actually wasn't hiring for a job. So I looked up this company. Can't remember. He was doing something cool, maybe offering wireless internet. He was also like a tech guy offering like wireless internet in the city. I remember looking him up and he said, yeah, sure. Let's go have a beer or whatever. Let's go meet. Let's connect. And so we met and he said, well, like we kind of just created this position for me, which I'd say note to anyone. It's kind of cool. It's about connections and
Reach
stuff.
out and you don't know till you ask.
If I hadn't just reached out and said, hey, you seem like a really interesting guy, entrepreneur, here's who I am, here's what I've got going. And I'm just a young, kid, right? I don't know what I was, 22 at the time or something like that. But he was like, oh, okay, cool. And so he respected me enough to reach out and took me seriously and then, offered me a position. I worked for him for close to a year and got to have the experience of a lifetime. I owned a van. I lived in a van for like 3 months maybe.
That sounds so cool, but I bet it was not. Okay.
I thought it was awesome. Everyone in New Zealand.
Where'd you bathe?
Oh, like bucket showers and yeah. You're like, no, yeah, maybe it's not cool.
Every
now and then we'd stay in a hostel or whatever and get like a real shower. But now we're just kind of like camping out showers, like in giant buckets of water and stuff.
I see this campfire with the clicks going on or something.
It was awesome. I loved it. And it was a way for me to save money. Here's something crazy. I like flipped the van. You know how people renovate houses and sell them? Actually, I made money on the van. I sold it. And like two things. One, I turned it into a camper van. And the other thing was like the exchange rate had changed. And so when I sold it, like the dollar was better. So I like made a good bit of cash on this van.
That's awesome. That's really where it all started.
It was great. Yeah. That's where it all began. I was like, yes. I was pretty excited about it. Yeah, I was pretty pumped. So.
All right, let's play a game.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to say a couple of things that I know that you're doing.
Okay.
You're going to give me one sentence of what it is. And then you're going to tell me what else you got going on. How about that?
All right.
All right.
We can play that game.
Ready?
Okay.
BizCon.
BizCon is an event created by entrepreneurs and it's for entrepreneurs, anyone that can relate to that term. And it's a one-day event for those people. It's in April.
But I totally concur on the BizCon. I was fortunate enough to be asked to be on a panel last year. I'd love to come back if you ever want me. It was just different opinions, but coming from a lot of different directions that people need to hear. So it was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another one. Biz Conversations.
So Biz Conversations. So that is related to Gulf Coast BizCon. So we said, okay, you have a year between events. We don't need to just start talking to people 90 days out. So Biz Conversations is a more of relaxed speaker type series.
Did you come up with this?
So in partnership with Container Yard. So Stacy Wellborn actually came up, I think, with the name. We were like, what do we call this thing? I think it was her that said, what about Biz Conversations? I'm like, sold.
That's brilliant.
I thought
it's just brilliant to do something to help the main event that you started in the first place. And I think that shows, for everybody listening, don't limit yourself within a certain box.
Mm-hmm. Destroy that box, right? Yeah, exactly.
Because you've got to be able to be willing to evolve and brainstorm and come up with these things. I think it's brilliant. All right, here we come up on another one, Mobile Rundown.
Mobile Rundown. So the Mobile Rundown, formerly what I would have said was, the Mobile Rundown is a local media company that connects the community through events. And it's taken me a long time to call it a local media company, but or like an actual media company, because we started out as just sending out an email, and then we expanded into social media and website, and now we text people. Now we have a free publication every quarter, and so I'm like, dadgummit, we're a media company, and so now I'm more comfortable calling us we're a small media company, but still we're a media company that connects the community through events. And now we produce events, which I'm pretty excited about.
Really?
Yep. So
you've led right into that. Yeah. What's coming next?
Oh, really? Okay. And yeah. So about a year ago when we came out with a magazine, I mentioned to Mandy, I was like, Mandy, like we're connecting the community. We're telling everyone, and we're saying, hey, here's what's going on. Like, why don't we produce cool events? And so we actually partnered up with 2 other people. So we produced the first large event we've done is called the King Cake Off. This past year we produced it's the first Saturday of Mardi Gras. And so it'll be coming up again. I think it's February 8th.
I get to come this year. I don't have tax seasons anymore.
Sweet. Yeah, you're good.
I can't wait.
You're good. It's fun. We had fun. We sold out the first event a few days before the event. We were not expecting to do that. We had 600 or 700 people. That day it was at the Azalea Manor. Now we're going to have it at the Government Plaza this year. We've locked that location.
That is cool.
So,
I highly suggest that everybody go and subscribe to the Mobile Rundown, because what I do, I have 2 screens. But I pull when I get your email, I pull it up on the left screen. I pull my calendar up on the right.
Oh, cool.
And I actually go through the events to put them on my calendar.
That's
awesome. So at
awesome.
least I know they're there.
Yeah.
I may something else will get booked, whatever. But if I can, at least I can. There's something to do. People say there's nothing to do in Mobile.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I actually use your thing to feed my calendar.
That's awesome.
Just for whatever networking. It can be just for networking, just to go and enjoy or do something with your spouse or friend or whatever.
Yeah.
Kid, grandkid.
Yeah. Just that's awesome. And so that's powerful for you to know that, so that, and of course we want other people to do that too, right? Go get the rundown. But now you can, if people ask you're a conduit of that information. That's all we want to be, is just another conduit of a way for people to find out stuff happening in town.
All right. So we're running long on time here, but what's your goal?
Keep creating, keep thriving, keep enjoying life. I think life in business is a giant adventure, and I want to live it.
And destroy the box.
And destroy the box.
Cheers to destroying the box.
Cheers to that.
I want to thank you for coming in today. We've just had a great conversation. We had no plan, and I've learned a lot about you, and I'm glad to know you, and I wish you the most success.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that you had me in.
Today's sponsor is Payroll Vault Mobile, and if you have anything associated with payroll, give Cadie a call and get a free payroll checkup. You can get your free payroll checkup by contacting Cadie. You can get her on the web at payrollvault.com or give her a call, her and the team, at 251-243-0902. You can even go onto Facebook at Payroll Vault Mobile.
Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.